The Secrets of Technology is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give. You're listening to The Secrets of Technology. Hi, I'm Dom Bettinelli, and you're listening to The Secrets of Technology, where we discuss the technology news that's important to you from a uniquely Catholic point of view. Joining me today on the panel are Victor Lambs. Hey, Victor.
Hi, Dom.
And Father Joseph Sund. Hi, Father.
Happy Advent.
Happy Advent, everyone. We are in the Gaudete week, so we are in the home, not quite the home stretch, but we're getting there. We're up past the hump day, which is Gaudete Sunday. I'm not sure if that's too irreverent or not, but we'll go with it.
We get a bonus week of Advent this year.
No kidding, a whole week.
We
a few years ago,
do.
we got no Advent, no fourth week of Advent. It was Sunday and then Christmas. So this one this is as long as we get. Before we get into today's topics, I want to tell you about another show on the StarQuest Network you're sure to enjoy called The Secrets of Middle Earth. You can find that wherever fine podcasts are found, or at sqpn.com/Middle Earth. So before we get to our regular topics, we did have some feedback from a listener from last week when we were going through our Christmas gift guide for hobbies. And we got some feedback from Ted, who writes...
For hobbies, not hobbits.
that's the Middle Secrets of Middle Earth. Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
They actually did a gift guide episode recently, so you check
really?
that out.
I'll check that out, yeah.
Yeah,
that's fun.
All things Tolkien related. I've added a few things from their gift guide to my Christmas list because there's some awesome stuff there.
Just a few Tolkien suggestions.
Oh, that's I need to do the sad trombone for you on that one. So this email comes from Ted, who writes, I enjoyed this week's podcast, and it was interesting hearing about each of your hobbies. When the podcast began, I thought to myself, what's my hobby? I'd love to do a lot of woodworking and play with all those cool tools, but Father Corey made me realize what my hobby is. I've never brewed beer other than a simple setup that I played with years ago that was basically dump the ingredients in a plastic barrel and wait 2 weeks. I came to the realization that my hobby was not in the production, but consumption of beer. I do have a kegerator and have had it for many years, and it has served me well. I also like to watch a lot of football. Those hobbies go together, let me tell you.
Excellent. Yeah, I think I've dabbled in one or more of those as well.
Yes, I have a beer drinking hobby too, but not extensive. But yes, I would love to brew beer. I think I said this last time with Father Corey. Is I would love to do home brewing. I have no room for it. I have there is no space to put a keg, a brewing apparatus of any size, like nothing. So that will have to wait for the future when I have kids who've graduated, go off to college. I will convert their room into a home brewery. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
Sweetie, go off to college. Daddy needs his beer.
That is a good way of putting it. All right, let's get to our Christmas gift guide this week. As I've said before, the last few weeks, our annual tradition is to do Christmas gift guides where we take turns talking about some tech-related gear, and sometimes more high-tech, sometimes it's more lower-tech. But this year, we're doing some themes. Each week, we have a different theme. Our last time, it was hobbies. This time, our theme is EDC, which you may have heard the term. It's everyday carry. Now, I think it originated with folks who carried firearms. Like, what's your everyday carry firearm? We're not talking about firearms or weapons at all. We're talking about, the term has expanded to include the things that we carry on us every day. Usually like in pockets or attached to us, but the sort of stuff that we have on our persons most days. And so we've got some ideas, and as you go through this, we've each completed our list independently, but there's themes within this theme. So you'll see some themes pop up. So to get started, Father Joseph, why don't you give us your first Christmas gift idea for everyday carry?
Okay, we're going to go as low tech as you can get. Or not really as low tech, but a pencil. But
okay.
It's my Kurutoga pencil, which I love these pencils. Your ordinary mechanical pencil, right? It has a little clamp that pulls the lead down. This one, on the other hand, has kind of a spinning apparatus that, as you write, continually brings the lead down, so you don't run out of lead.
Oh.
And then also, this has a gunmetal finish, and it's just a really nice pencil. So if you have someone who appreciates the finer arts of pencils, that's a good gift.
Not expensive. Still like $12 on Amazon. So that's a nice one. Cool. Yeah, I liked it. That's been my problem with mechanical pencils for so long, is that clicky, and constantly having to advance the lead. This way, if it advances it for you as you write, I really like that idea. That is really nice. Cool.
And it also, this particular one that's $12 does give you 5 extra erasers and 3 packs of lead with it.
That's awesome. I will lose those erasers immediately.
When you open it, you lose the erasers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, stuff like that. When you get earbuds with extra tips, to replacement tips, gone. Like, your Apple Pencil comes with that extra nib. I have no idea where it is. It's just that's the way it is. It's like those little things get lost immediately.
Myself, it's the over-the-air mics that I use at Mass. They always come with the windscreens.
Yep.
I don't have any windscreens.
Gone. All right. So that's our first Christmas gift idea. Thank you, Father. Victor, what's your first idea?
Yeah, so mine is also a writing instrument. A few years ago, I started to get into fountain pens because I thought it would be a cool hobby. And you start looking at fountain pens, and there's, ones that cost, $3. There's ones that cost $300, $800. Obviously, I wasn't going to buy a $300 pen as my first pen, given that I tend to lose things as well.
And it's Mont Blanc.
Yeah, I wasn't very happy with the $10 pens either. But then I hit upon this company called it's sometimes pronounced TWSBI, but it's TWSBI, and they make a pen which is perfect for beginners. It's called the Eco, and it is about $35. And it comes in all sorts of different colors and styles. What's really nice about it is it's a piston style pen. It doesn't use cartridges. You dip the nib of the pen right into your ink, and I'll have some recommendations for ink as well, and then twist the end, and this piston mechanism sucks up the ink into the pen, and it holds a lot. Like using cartridges, you have to carry extra cartridges with you. In a full day of writing, I could go through 2 of them easily. This I can fill up once a week. TWSBI also makes very good fountain pen ink for writing, but I can really recommend the Eco pen. I have 2 Eco pens, and I was so impressed with them. I got a couple of their higher end pens. My wife has 2 or 3 Ecos as well. They're just really good pens for the money, and so take one with you, and people will be very impressed that you're writing with such a luxurious clear fountain pen.
Nice.
I'm disappointed that I didn't put my favorite pocket protector on my list for your ink pens, because you might need one with using fountain pens, right?
Yeah, I did for many years wear a fountain pocket protector once I started carrying fountain pens. But Jet Pens, who I buy my pens from, they have very nice pen cases that you can also get if you have multiple pens that you want to carry around and stuff. And I would also like to put in, if you do start getting into fountain pens ink, Noodler's Ink has a wide variety of inks based on historical inks, colors that you can't even imagine. And once you start to go down that rabbit hole, you're pretty much hooked for life.
Oh man, looking at the 54th Massachusetts Ink. That's the Civil War regiment that was at Gettysburg. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that I could grade papers in fountain pen?
Yes.
You certainly could, yeah. And the cool thing about some of the Noodler's ink is that they're bulletproof, which means that they they don't run. They're you can't smear them with your highlighter, so they're forge resistant and all sorts of stuff like that. So if you're grading,
I was trying to think of the situation that someone would be shooting at my pen and it would have to be bulletproof.
Yeah, the ink itself is but
you could make corrections
I like
with the Rose in the Louvre red ink. That would be fancy.
I have that one. It's very nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. I got my wife a fountain pen a few years ago after Thomas Sonurho was talking about jet pens and different pens that he got jet pens. He's a pen guy too. So fountain pens it's funny. These old fashioned technologies have their place. They still have their place.
I think that was 2 years ago, because I think that's when I first started listening to the show, was around the
nice
tech gift guide. So
okay, awesome. So that's a great idea. So I also want to recommend a pen. This is more of a convenience factor. I'm constantly out places needing to write something, and for a long time I had this little telescoping pen that was on my keychain. It was nice. It was like I pull it off and I'd write with it. It was all right. It eventually ran out of ink, and like remember what I said about losing stuff? It came with extra ink cartridges. I have no idea where they are. I mean, but it lasted so long that it was probably all dried out anyway. So I'm looking for something new. And I was looking for a small pen that I could put in a pocket or something like that. I found the Olight, which you'll hear that company name again as we talk, makes a very small mini ballpoint pen, the open mini ballpoint pen. And it is tiny. It's very small, but it's a retractable ballpoint pen, and it works great. And I keep it in something else you'll hear about, not like directly in my pocket, but in a bag that I carry in my back pocket. And it's small. It's always handy. It's great. You will always impress someone when you're out somewhere and you gotta, like, you're at Scouts, you gotta fill out forms, and people are like, oh, is somebody get a pen? You got a pen? Get a pen? And I'm like, and you always have a pen on you, and you just, here, I got a pen, and you just fill it out. Just don't let people walk away with it. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's the Olight mini ballpoint pen. Very, very nice. And that's also, I don't know if I mentioned, it's again around the same price, $12, as the same price as the mechanical pencil.
We might be the most affordable gift guide of all of our gift guides so far.
Yeah, so far. Eventually I'll get up there, but for now we're pretty good. So let's get back around to you, Father. What's your next gift idea?
My next gift idea will be by far the most affordable. We're going stocking stuffer. Stocking stuffer. That's a tongue twister there.
Yeah.
It's a little lens cleaner. That's a brush that has two sides to it. And I just keep one of these everywhere. And so basically you pinch your lens in between the two microfiber veins, and it cleans your glasses up, which all three of us are glasses wearers. So,
yeah.
And I've been pleased. I don't have to use any spray with this one. Just works like a charm every time. And,
nice.
Especially when you're in that cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
To keep one in my car helps a ton.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the fogging. Yeah. I became an eyeglass wearer in middle age, and so I didn't know the annoyance of constantly dirty glasses, and cleaning them is such a pain. I always have a glass cleaning cloth on me, but like your finger slips off the cloth and it smudges the screen up, and it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Something like this might be really nice, and it's small enough that you could fit it in your pocket, wouldn't feel too bulky.
And you can buy a dozen of them for $12.
That is a good deal.
That's almost disposable.
Yeah.
So if you have a whole family of four eyes,
we do.
This is your stocking stuffers.
If you have a wife who's constantly stealing your eyeglass cleaning cloths.
Yeah.
I don't know, who that would be, but that's great. That's going on my list. I want that in my stocking. Cool. All right, Victor, you're up next.
Yes. My next pick is one of my more pricey items, and it is another Olight product, and it is the Olight Baton 3 Pro flashlight. And so you'll hear people say, you're, in terms of, obviously flashlights are very convenient to keep around if you drop something on the floor, drop something under your car, in your car. having a flashlight that's just in your pocket can be very handy. It's also, people will also say, the flashlight is your number one security tool because, if you're walking into a dark parking structure, you hear something between your car and the next car, you can pull out your flashlight, shine it and say, hey, did you lose something? Something down there.
Right.
It's non-threatening. And so I've been really impressed with this Olight. It's the second Olight I've owned it, the Baton 3 Pro. Wireless charging. It has your basic, lithium battery in there that you can replace. You just unscrew it and it's just the one that all flashlights use. But, wireless magnetic charging, the base is magnetic. So if you're working, under the sink, you just, slap this up to the sink and the magnet holds it in place. You don't need a kid to hold it and shine it in your eyes. It does that for it. It has tons of different brightness modes. You can get white light or a more natural light. And what's really cool is in the brightest mode, if you've ever used like an LED flashlight that's super bright and you put your hand right up against it, it is very hot, even a few inches away. Mm-hmm. What this does is it has a proximity sensor in the end. And if it senses something that close to it, it'll dim the light. So doesn't get that hot. So you won't burn yourself or anything that you're holding it up against. So it's really nice. It's very compact, made of machined aluminum, and it has a very cool pocket clip, belt clip, so you can clip it to your pocket, your belt. But yeah, I wasn't sure because it is like $65-$70. But it's definitely been worth it. There are Gear Light or whatever, for $15, but this is just compact, very powerful, and I like it a lot.
I've had cheap flashlights and they were cheap.
Yeah.
Most of us carry around $800 flashlights, so.
Yeah. Well, no, I wanted to say something about that though, because the people will say, well, why don't you just use your phone's light? A couple reasons, but one of them is the flashlight on your phone drains that battery. You could watch your battery level go down. And when you're in an emergency situation, that phone is your lifeline. So for one. And two, that phone is fragile. And you don't want that phone to fall into like concrete or into water or anything else. And so I agree. I think a flashlight is, that is a single-use device is totally worth it. No, I agree. I
just think of a normal situation. So I'm refilling my windshield wiper fluid, right?
Right. Yep.
And I have liquid and I'm holding over a car engine. Is it really where I want to have my phone?
Exactly. Plus, you could put a flashlight in your mouth. You know what I mean? I'm not putting my phone in my mouth because I'm not going to be able to see past it. That sort of thing.
Actually, with Victor's in my car, I could put my flashlight
right up against right against the hood. Yeah. Great idea.
Yeah, and because the prepper motto, there's a saying in prepper circles, 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none. You always want to have a backup. So I also have a recommendation in there for an Olight, and this one's $22. And it's a tiny keychain sized flashlight that you just, kind of unscrew it a little bit, and it has a couple levels of brightness. And I found that to be very useful as well. If I walk out of the house and somehow I've forgotten my flashlight and need one, I always have one on my keychain as well.
Yep. I have I have a different version from Olight of that too. It's a screw. You screw it the connection closed to turn it on, which isn't great for being in my pocket, but I keep it in a little pouch. I want to say though, the only thing that gives me pause with this one, it's a minor niggle, but it is the proprietary charging cable. That would be the only thing that would give me pause on that.
It's not USB-C?
No, it's a USB magnetic charging cable. You said like it.
Oh, the Baton 3. Yeah, it is. But you can easily, it's just an 18650 lithium battery. So if you have an 18650 charger from a different flashlight, it's the same. You can charge it. You can take it out and charge it in any kind of lithium battery charger. So yeah, that kind of gave me pause too. But the fact that you can take the battery out and charge it,
that's good.
Is nice as well. Yeah.
There's it lasts forever. I mean the battery too. I mean these LEDs last forever, and they do have Olight does have other ones where you could put it like a USB-C port and that sort of stuff too. But this looks like a really nice one. I mean I don't think that's enough. That's not a fatal flaw. That's really good. So I want to also see. I had my Olight flashlight on here, but I said we don't need to have more flashlights. But I want to recommend something else. Because this little pouch, because you got to have something to carry your things in. I have, it's called Right in the Rain, RITE, in the Rain, all weather pocket organizer. And this is a little zip pouch. It has a mesh pocket on the outside, but you can unzip it. It folds open. And inside, there's another mesh pocket and a pouch it's designed to take like a reporter's notebook. You slide that in there and have so if you want to have a little notebook that you carry around that's protected, you could do that. But what I use this for is just to carry all extra stuff, non-wallet stuff. Wallet is something separate. And so I keep in this, I keep extra charging cables. I keep a little eyeglass screwdriver, a lighter, USB lightning cables, USB-C cable. What else do I get? My rosaries in there. Air tagged so I can track it. I kept my vaccination card in there when that was a thing. I have business cards in there. So it's like it's larger than a wallet, but it fits in my back pocket pretty nicely. But it's also got MOLLE straps, which is a nice thing. MOLLE, I forget what MOLLE, it's an acronym, but you find it on backpacks and other like military gear. They'll have MOLLE straps. So it's a standard gear attachment system. So I can attach it to my backpack or to other bags if I need to. So it's a really nice little pouch you can use as an extra. Like, I don't take it with me every time I go out, but if I'm going out for an extended period of time, or I'm going for a walk, I'm going, if I'm just going down the corner store, I don't need it. But if I'm leaving the house for an extended period of time, this is a nice little pack, and it's $27. I've had it for years, and it looks like the day I bought it. It's really held up really nicely.
That's excellent.
So it's a nice little pouch.
Looks like that company also sells pens.
They do. They actually sell a lot of different gear of this type, so it's really nice. Yep. So, Father, that's back to you. What's your next Christmas gift idea?
My next Christmas gift idea here. I have a flash drive for my next Christmas gift idea. So,
okay.
This flash drive is a USB 2.0. But the benefit of it is it looks like a key. And so I have a lot of situations, i.e. someone doesn't have a printer driver on their computer, that I do regularly, that I just need the same file over and over. Also teaching, it's not always is the cloud working well for me to get my files over. So, and especially with bigger video files and stuff. So I use that, and pretty sturdy, and it goes right on my key ring, and it's always with me.
So 32 and 64 gigs. It's only $8 on Amazon. So that's a nice stocking stuffer. That's pretty good.
You can put your, PC dirt erasing malware on it, and then just erase like all the computers, and they'll never know it was you because it's
just like on
that's
TV.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Just like on TV.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a good one. Yeah. A nice thumb drive is very useful. There are times when you need something to sneakernet a file, or even if you just want to have to carry certain files with you all the time, especially if you're doing, troubleshooting on people's computers.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep. And there's some things that you just don't want to trust to putting on the cloud too. So.
Right. Exactly. Excellent. Victor, your next Christmas gift idea.
Yeah, let's talk about multi-tools, because if you're out and about and something needs to be pliered, or wires need to be snipped, or you want to live out your MacGyver fantasies, as I often do, you're going to need a good multi-tool, and they've come a long way if you haven't purchased one since the the Victorinox Swiss Army knife days. And Leatherman, I think is his name, Bob Leatherman, probably the best known brand out there. So there's a lot of cachet with the name. The one I carry is the Leatherman Free P2, which has it doesn't have removable bits, but it has the pliers, the knife, a Phillips, a straight edge screwdriver. But the really cool thing about it is that you can open and close it with one hand. I think there's some sort of magnets in there. It looks kind of like nunchucks when you, mine needs to be lubricated here, I think a little bit. And also I got it because not only does it come with like a cool nylon belt pouch, but it comes with a belt clip as well, which is not as common as you think, but it is pricey. And so for 1/4 the price, you can go with a Chinese company called Ganzo, Ganzo. It's not like the Muppet, and they have a very nice one as well, which we'll have in the show notes. But it has spring-loaded pliers. The knife, it actually has like a saw. And the cool thing too is it does use just standard hex bit drivers on its little driver thing. It has an adapter. So for $25, if you don't care about the brand name, the Ganzo as well, I probably use it more when I'm like going over to my mom's house and I know I have work to do and stuff. Just because it's a little bit more capable, but again, it doesn't have quite the recognition that Leatherman does.
So that has interchangeable bits in it, you're saying?
The Gonzo does, yes.
Yeah, just standard hex bits, which, some of the Leatherman tools do have removable bits. Mine doesn't, but I got it mainly just because it's pretty compact. And,
that's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
Yeah, I have to say, that's my next pick as well, is a Leatherman, is the... because I will agree. Because I've heard people say, why does anyone need a Leatherman knife? Oh, or a multi-tool all the time? Who uses that? I use mine literally every day, for one thing or another. And I have a slightly different one. I have the Skeletool CX. This is my second Leatherman. I busted the blade on my first one that I got. But I had that one for like 8-10 years, so it got its money worth. But I had the Skeletool CX, and I love this thing. It's even got a little carabiner on the end. That's also a bottle opener. Very handy.
Oh, wow.
I've opened many a beer bottle with that. And it does have the removable bits. And so I'm going to also piggyback on my pick here with a couple others, which is Leatherman sells a 42-piece bit kit, which is 21 double-ended screwdriver bits that also has a bit driver extender. So you can really get a leverage and also get into tight spaces with it. And it's really great. The bits come on these two flat plastic carriers that when you stack them together, they're less than, I don't know, 1/4 inch thick. I mean, it's really compact. It's really nice. And to carry them, I have a different company makes it the Ray Gear sheath, which is a sheath that lets you slide these into a pocket, and it's spring loaded, so it holds them tight. And then the bit extender goes into a side thing that has a magnet, a rare earth magnet at the end to hold the bit extender securely. See, I lost my first bit extender when the nylon sheath had the little bit of nylon on the side that was holding it got a little loose. So this is not going anywhere. So I have these both in my pocket every day, the Ray Gear sheath and the regular Leatherman sheath, and I use them all the time. It's fantastic.
So when you take the bits out, you feel like a knight pulling it out of its sheath.
Right. Yes. Well, I feel like a secret agent because it's almost like a clip, gun clip. But so the sheath for the bit kit is $34. The Leatherman, the 42-bit, it's not available at the moment. It might be available on their website. I'll have to go take a look and see if they have it there on their website, but it's not there on the Amazon site right now. And the Skeletool is $90. So
wow,
pretty good price for that. Yeah, I am a big believer in multi-tools and having a multi-tool with you to do stuff all the time. I'm constantly cutting open boxes and that sort of stuff all the time. All right, back to you, Father. What's your next Christmas gift idea?
My next idea is, this was a gift, I think about 3 years ago. My mother actually got me this gift, and I love it. It is the Cocoon Grit It backpack. and this is a 15-inch backpack, so it's for when you have if you have a smaller laptop. And as you open it up, it has Gridit's proprietary elastic system, in which you can put all of your random tech devices into elastic straps to hold into place. And so the nice thing is, when I'm going to look for that dongle or adapter that I need, I'm able to unzip that section of the bag and everything's just right there.
Yeah, it's really nice. I had something from a different kind of item from Gridit as a pick of the week before, and it's nice because it's a grid of elastic straps interwoven so that you can get as big of a loop or small of a loop as you need to hold anything.
And if you already have a backpack that you really like, Gridit also sells the grids on themselves. So
right.
If you just want to throw a grid into your backpack, I think as cheap as like $15, and then you can go for bigger ones up to $20-$30.
Oh, the small one's like $9 even.
Oh,
yeah, it's cheap.
So,
nice.
But this particular backpack is $52, but on mine's in the same condition as the day I got it, and I beat it up pretty good. So
cool. That's great. Yeah, the gridded stuff is great. Well, keeping your bag organized with all the dongles and stuff is a huge pain, and this really helps with that. Nice. All right, Victor, what's next for you?
Next for me is, so granted the Leatherman has a knife on it, but really you can't go wrong also carrying a nice pocket knife in your pocket or in your purse. And really they it's as close as, well, some men wear watches, others have their pocket knives and stuff, and so you don't have to spend a lot of money. I have some pricier knives, but really I think $30 is really a really good price point. $35 for a beefy pocket knife. That way, if you lose it someplace, you're not absolutely heartbroken. And one that shows up that gets recommended a lot is the Ontario Rat 1 by the Ontario Knife Company. It's a good knife. If respected brand name, if brand names and country of origin aren't as important to you though, there are a couple of Chinese knife makers, one of which is Eifengro, and the other is Sativian, and they make very nicely spec'd knives right in that $30 to $35 price range. So one of the luxury items is having a D2 blade, which is a harder blade that holds the edge longer, and then also handles that are made of micarta, which is a kind of layered, paper or fabric that's been, infused with, I think, resin or something to make it, waterproof and very hard. But that's also another nice, luxury feature. And so you can get, a D2 blade and a micarta handle on a very nice knife, for $100, $120, or by looking at these other companies, $35. And for, knives, when I'm out working in the yard and need to cut back some weeds or some vines or open boxes or things that where I'm gonna drop it on concrete if I'm not careful, they hold up very well, but they also look rather nice and impressive as well. So we have a couple links that we'll share with those as well.
That's awesome.
But of course, make sure that you're following all of your local laws and regulations regarding the size of the blade, whether or not it's a concealed weapon if you're carrying it in your pocket. Make sure you're familiar with your state and local laws before you carry any knife or any, multi-tool even these days.
And we turned it into the everyday carry gift list.
Yeah.
Amazon will tell you that if it can't ship it to your location.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it tells me I can't have the Sativian knife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or the Ontario knife. But that's okay. I buy direct from Gerber, actually, myself.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I love Gerber knives. They're more expensive, so I have one nice Gerber knife. But maybe I'll get a pocket knife.
Yeah, and if you buck knives too, if you want like just a 2-inch blade. They have some very nice buck knives. You can't go wrong. Lasts a lifetime.
But you're right. Carrying a knife, especially a folding knife in your pocket, you have to be careful of where you take it. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So my next gift idea is more conventional technology. It's a short USB-C to lightning cable. Let me tell you, my favorite battery pack now is an Anker one I've talked about before. It's an Anker MagSafe battery pack that I can charge my iPhone MagSafe directly to it, but it has a USB-C out that if I want to charge my iPad or someone else's phone that doesn't have MagSafe iPhone, you need a cable, and it's a USB-C. So I just needed a very short, and this is 6 inches, USB-C to lightning adapter. Of course, you can get various other ends if you need a USB-C to USB-C or USB-C to, oh, Lord knows, USB micro or mini. I mean, why? I don't know. But, if you had to, you could do that. But, having short cables to attach to your gear that you can have on you all the time. This is the idea of everyday carry. It's the sort of thing that you're not going to need all the time, but when you need it, you need it. And it's great to have it there. So that's why this one's $16, but it's a pretty good, I wanted to find one that was durable, would last a long time being folded up in my bag, that sort of thing. And this is a good one. So,
you might need that micro cable. I have my USB-C to VGA dongle, and I was thinking about taking it out of my bag, and the other week I needed it.
That's funny. Yeah, that's why I have my closet of obsolete tech. I never get rid of this stuff because one of these days I'm gonna need that zip drive. So,
I have entire rooms of obsolete tech.
That's right. All right. So, Father, back to you. What's your next Christmas gift idea?
My next Christmas gift idea. We're gonna go Catholic on you now.
Okay.
This is a Catholic podcast, after all.
Of course.
So. We're going to do the rugged rosaries. And these are very nicely made rosaries that range from $20 up to, I think they go up to $75 range. But they're what they sound like. They're made military grade, which for me usually just means that it's going to survive the dryer. But but they're made to be tough, and some of them are made of gunmetal. I think they make like a World War I rosary. I like carrying the decade rosaries, just the single decade rosaries on me. Kind of encourages me to pray more. I think sometimes you can be shy to do an entire rosary when you only have 4 minutes. And so, if you just have a decade rosary on you, it can encourage you to pray a little more. So, and I think those ones are $18-19 or so.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, my 2 older sons actually have the battle beads, which are the rosaries. They're the World War I rosaries in the metal tin. And so I didn't realize they were a gift from their grandmother. I didn't realize where she had gotten them. But they're very well. They hold up because they'll sit there and fidget with them in mass sometimes, and they haven't broken and. Thank goodness. They're very tough. Yeah, these are, good stuff.
The battle beads are replicas of actual rosaries that were issued to Catholic soldiers and sailors in World War I. So that's why these are, the real deal. I love the paracord ones. Those are beautiful. And yeah, I'm tough on my rosaries. I have a rosary from Iron Lace Design, which is a Catholic mom living in Canada, who's a friend of my wife, Melanie. But this is made from Japanese chainmail. It is strong. Like you fall off a cliff, you could hold on to the edge of the cliff with this rosary. It would hold your weight. It's strong. So, but they're expensive. This was a gift from my wife, but I think these are like $150 or more rosaries, but they're beautiful and they last forever.
I was visiting a homebound man at one of my parishes, and he showed me his rosary that he had from the Korean War that he's kept on him. Carried it every day in the Korean War with him, has prayed it every day since he's got back with him, and It's still holding up. And I think about how many rosaries I've had fall apart. So fun other story about the guy. Side tangent here, but small town volunteer fire department. He lives next to the firehouse. He's homebound, but he was the fire chief, and he still has the button for the siren in his house. And so he's the guy who gets to, at 80 years old, still gets to set off the volunteer siren every day.
So nice.
So
That's great.
beautiful story there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of beautiful, I'm checking out that Iron Lace Design Etsy shop, and that is really amazing jewelry there. It's not just rosaries; it's pendants and neck things. There's
Is that the
some
same
really
company?
Different company. This is the one where I got my rosary is Iron Lace Design. Kira
really beautiful.
Yeah, Kira Matsui, and her dad was a watchmaker. She inherited a lot of watch parts from him when he died, and she incorporates them into some of the jewelry she makes. She makes some amazing, beautiful jewelry, guys.
Yeah,
Consider getting some of her pieces for your wife, and when you do so, you'll be supporting a Catholic mom of 4 or 5 kids, a single Catholic mom of a bunch of kids who really needs your help these days too. So great cause. If you want to help somebody and also get a beautiful gift for somebody. So check that out. I'll put the link in the show notes.
Yeah. The Love's Fire necklace. Yeah.
There's a lot of good Catholic stuff on Etsy. So,
yep. You got some good friends. We should probably do some point an Etsy show.
That'd be a fun show.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a tech show, but we could do whatever anyway. So it'd be nice to do it. Support some good Catholic producers of really awesome stuff.
It could be like how technology has enabled like independent creators to sell their stuff. Yeah.
Sure, Etsy is a website. Yeah. All right, next to you, Victor.
Yeah, this is not. I've pretty much that's everything that I carry with me that I've already discussed. The next thing here is I got this on sale on Amazon. It's an electric screwdriver, which you don't need, but gosh, they're handy, especially as you get older. And I've tried other, these are battery rechargeable, they go forward and back and stuff, but I've tried other ones that were like this, the width of a pencil, and they're not very strong. This one that I picked up and the company, I forget it's something, but it's in the show notes. It's beefier. It's currently showing as $54. It's not worth $54, but when it drops back down to 30, it's worth a look. It has a light on it, and it's pretty strong. And if you're going to be doing a lot of machine screws, just feels really nice in the hand and has this cool case and stuff. So if you ever need a rechargeable electric screwdriver, which you might not ever need one, but if you do, this one's really nice.
Does it summon the TARDIS?
So far I haven't found that mode, but there are different torque settings on it, so that could possibly do that.
Oh, there it comes.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
You don't have that sound effect on your soundboard, do you?
No, I don't. It's something that should be standard on my soundboard, but it isn't. So my next gift idea is probably the lowest tech thing on our list, but it's a wallet. It is the Nomadic Slim Minimalist Front Pocket Wallet for men or women. It holds between 4 and 15 cards of various sorts. It has it's called Hidden Cash and Key Pocket, or as I like to call it, the AirTag Pocket. But for years, I carried a regular wallet in my back pocket, and I started getting sciatica pain from the thing, and I needed something different. I hated carrying my regular wallet in my front pocket, so
Chicago style.
Yeah, right. So I picked this up, and it is great. It is small, it is compact. I can carry my gear in it. It makes me cut down on the amount of cards I carry, which is good because I don't need all that junk in my pocket all the time. It makes me clean it out. So just the things I need. It's great. And maybe if I carried more cash, I'd want like a money clip, but I don't carry a lot of cash on me, so it doesn't bother me. But if you tend to carry cash, you might need a money clip to go with it, or maybe this wouldn't work for you. But I like this. It's all like nylon and stretchable. There are some minimalist ones that are metal or plastic. I never liked any of those. This worked for me. I really like this. So
I'm convinced that Jerry Seinfeld started the minimalist wallet movement.
Right. That's right. That was an episode.
Jerry, your back hurts because your wallet, it's huge.
They have the Jerry Seinfeld wallet in here in comparison to the minimalist wallet, by the way, on Amazon if you look. So, and it's $20, so it's nice.
I've always been a front carry guy when it comes to wallets, so a little extra bulk.
Yeah. I get so much else in my pocket these days with all the stuff. I don't like having the huge wallet in there too. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else on here? Father, you had anything else that you wanted to mention?
I just have one thing that I do every morning. That's my every morning carry. Every morning, Jimmy Aiken and an alien wake me up with my coffee mug off of the merch section of SQPN. So shameless plug there.
There you go.
But it's a great coffee mug. I've been happy with it.
Yep. You can go to sqpn.com/merch and you get t-shirts and mugs and all kinds of other stuff there. You might not get it in time for Christmas at this point, but I'm a big believer in Epiphany gifts. So that might be something you can get. And you get ones for a lot of our different shows. We don't have a Secrets of Tech shirt or design. We may have to do that at some point, but I have to think of what that would be. But you get the Jimmy Akins It's Always Aliens mug, the Secrets of Stargate mug, Secrets of Star Wars, Secrets of Doctor Who, Secrets of Star Trek. So we get a lot of different stuff there, and shirts and whatever else too.
You can get the travel mug, which would be everyday carry.
That would be an everyday carry. Yes, that's true. All right. So that was a lot of great stuff. And I want to thank you guys for all the different ideas. We'll have links to everything on our show notes on our website at sqpn.com. You can go to starquest.fm/TEC191. That'll take you to today's show notes. So before we move on to the rest of our show, I want to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create the Secrets of Technology, including Peter H., Lenora G., Andrew W., Claire T., and Chris M. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue the Secrets of Technology and all the shows at StarQuest. And you can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. So I want to just cover a couple headlines real quick here. Our first headline is about Disney Plus. Disney Plus has launched an ad-supported tier, which says to compete with Netflix. I'm not sure they're actually competing with Netflix, but at this point, but and also that they've recently reached 164 million subscribers. So there's more to be said about these different stories that we've got here, but just what is your impression of the ad-supported tier on Disney Plus and Netflix? Is it something you guys would be interested in, or would you rather pay more to avoid ads? What do you think?
I already do the bundle that has the ESPN Plus and all of that in it. So this wouldn't really interest me too much.
Well, they have ad-supported and ad-free bundles as well. Are you doing the ad-free bundle?
I think that's what we're doing right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We cut our cable in 2014, early 2014, and we have two younger kids. We have two older kids. We have two younger kids, and they grew up without seeing commercials, basically, because we immediately enrolled in streaming service, ripped movies and shows to Plex, did all of that. And I think we were over at my sister-in-law's house for Thanksgiving or something, and they were watching a cartoon, and all of a sudden a commercial came on, and our youngest son, who was 3 at the time, he's like, what? There's a show in the middle of the show. He was completely flummoxed by it. He was so outraged and that's kind of how I feel about ads too. I kind of feel like they're a violation into my, personal time and space. So it's, we don't really have like a set stable of streaming services, Amazon Prime, just because we're, Prime, in that ecosystem, whatever, but we kind of rotate through streaming services. We'll have one for a few months until we're sick of it. And then, they do something really stupid and offensive, and then we cancel them and protest and sign up with the one that we canceled, a year ago, watch that for a little while and then cancel that and protest. And, so we kind of rotate through them. But yeah, definitely ad free all the way, because life's too short to watch commercials, and I just don't like what they do to my brain or my kid's brain.
Yeah.
You bring up an interesting point though, with advertisers and Disney doing stuff that makes you mad, or any other of those services. And really there's a question of, once you have advertisers that you're doing regularly, who are you beholden to? I'm not sure if Disney on some things could sink any lower sometimes. Yeah. So advertisers can affect your programming. And so that could be a negative thing.
Who's the customer here? Right.
Plus, I've tried like Pluto in the past, and they have like 3 commercials. So if you're watching like an hour of Pluto content, you'll see the same 3 commercials like 6 times or something.
That's what drove me away from Hulu ad supported back in the day, ages ago, because it was like the same ads over and over. It drove me insane.
It's like, I don't want Tide Pods.
The Fox Sports app will do the same ads every time. And sometimes you'll watch the same ad 3 times in a row during a normal commercial break.
Well, even apart from the repeating ads, there's also a technical problem, which is with a lot of these, that's poorly programmed or something. Like, they don't want you to pause or skip the ads, right? That defeats the whole purpose. So what happens is, sometimes with some of these services, if you pause between ads, like in the content, and then go to play again, it skips back to the beginning of the last ad break.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's I almost feel like that's on purpose to make you pay more to get ad free. Like, it's an evil genius plan. So yeah, it drives me crazy. What the Disney plan is $7.99 a month for the basic plan. So that's with ads.
It's $10.99. It's $79 with ads?
With ads, which is what it used to be to get no ads. So basically what they've done is they've hiked the price by $3 for everyone who really hates ads. Right. I mean, that's kind of essentially what's happened, is the price of the service has gone up. And this is partly, there's all kinds of business reasons why Disney is having trouble. They created way too much content. This is why there's a new old CEO in charge. The guy who was in charge kind of screwed everything up. And so they're trying to recover financially by hiking prices and that sort of stuff. So I just don't like ads. I will pay a little more to have no ads. But the interesting thing is how they're doing it different from Netflix. Netflix, you're limited to 720 HD, whereas Disney is giving you full quality. Like, you're getting the whole catalog, you're getting all the quality. The only limitation is you can't download to watch offline. So if you're taking a flight or somewhere, you can't download the content to watch while you're on the plane. But you can watch on multiple devices simultaneously. Netflix, you can only have one device watching, and so it's a much more limited ad bundle.
Now, their plans aren't contractual, so if you were planning a flight, you could go and change and pay $3 more just for that one.
That month? Yeah, you could. Yeah, there is no penalty for going up and down on the pricing, the plans. Right. That's true.
Now, I think Disney Plus next season for Doctor Who is going to have Doctor Who, if I remember right.
Next fall, right. In the fall of 2023, they'll be airing Doctor Who, the new Doctor Who episodes, any new Doctor Who content on Disney Plus. So yet another reason for me to stay subscribed.
So they kind of have our hands tied, huh?
At least me. I need Doctor Who. So,
or as Weird Al said, there's very probably no other way to watch it, but you do have a torrent of options. That was in reference to someone from Australia was asking if there was a way that they could watch the new Weird movie, which, if you're a Weird Al fan and above the age of, I would say, maybe 16, it's a very, very funny movie. I wouldn't show it to anyone much younger than that. But no, it's and that was only watchable on the Roku app, and so I had to watch it. We had to watch it with commercials every few minutes, it seems like, in the same Verizon and Tide commercials. But the nice thing is our other son came home from college and we wanted to show it to him, and we're like, oh no, we're gonna have to sit through these ads again. It may have remembered that we had watched it with ads the first time, because the second time we played through it, it was completely ad free. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes. Yeah. There are ways to watch things without ads or without paying, but we won't get into that. There is questionable morality to that and that sort of thing. So we won't get into that.
Yeah. It was just funny that Weird Al was suggesting those methods for his own movie.
Yep. Yeah, I know. That's good.
Yeah.
So speaking of watching TV, it's been a maxim for many years that watching TV or looking at screens right before bed is bad for you. It will, can make you have a bad night's sleep, grow hair on your toes, become a ravening lunatic, make your children dumber, even if they're not watching it, but just because you're doing it, that sort of stuff. It's like there's all kinds of things about why watching TV before you fall asleep is bad, or looking at screens. But is it? And so there's this article on vulture.com called Bed Habits. It's long, and it contains a lot of the author thinks that they're funnier than they are. But there's some actually interesting content in there as well. Just about how new studies are showing that maybe this isn't as universal as we've thought, that maybe it's okay for some people to look at screens before bed, depending on why you're doing it. So for some people, it helps them unwind. It makes them relax so that they actually do get a better night's sleep, and so on and so forth. So what do you guys think of this? Do you look at screens within a half hour of going to bed? And B, do you feel like you shouldn't?
I do, and I regret it when I do, but I'm not watching serene soundscapes and stuff. I'm usually on like Twitter or something right before I go to bed, and then I'm laying in bed saying you know what I should have told the president, so that's not healthy. I find if I actually read a physical book with pages and stuff, 20-30 minutes of that, I'm out and I have the best sleep I ever had. And it may be different for other people. And the only thing I could say is if you're not getting good results or good night's sleep, change your habits, try something different. And if that gives you better results, stick with that.
I try to stick with my Kindle with my backlight before bed.
Yeah.
And it's a lot better than reading Elon Musk's latest tweets before I go to bed. As funny as they might be sometimes. Yeah,
I think for most people, if you're not getting a good night's sleep, go to bed earlier. I mean, frankly, that's the problem for most of us is we're just going to bed later, and maybe it's the screens that are keeping us up. That could be true. For me, I watch TV, and then when I'm done, I go to bed, and I read in bed with my Kindle until I bash myself on the nose with it. Or whack my wife with it as it falls, if I'm laying on my side or something along those lines. Half the time she has to take it out of my sleepy hand and put it on the bedside table and that sort of thing. But yeah.
There's a deeper philosophical question of it as I'm reading through the article, and I'm asking, is it not so much the question of are people getting enough sleep as if it is do people have inner peace?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And on the spiritual side of it, am I cultivating a prayer life? Am I giving myself a deeper, or not giving myself, but receiving a deeper meaning in life? And am I searching for and maintaining peace? I'm not saying that's going to magically change my sleep habits, but I think there might be a deeper thing in our world than just sleep habits. We might be treating a symptom of a deeper problem there.
I agree. Yeah, well said.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a very funny They Might Be Giants song called Reprehensible, where it's somebody trying to fall asleep at night, but they're just guilty of, they don't list out what these crimes are, but just horrible crimes, and they can't fall asleep. And it's done in the style of a 1930s pop song. And it's just, just a very soothing song. It just kind of, very, very happy song about someone who can't fall asleep because of all the horrible things that they've done.
Because their conscience,
yeah, keeps them awake.
That's funny. So speaking of people doing horrible things, last headline tells us how some guys have figured out how to hack cars remotely using just the VIN number, the ATM PIN number. VIN is a vehicle identification number. It's that long code that is unique to every vehicle. And so the story starts with the fact that these guys figured out how there are some car manufacturers who have phone apps, mobile apps that allow you to interact with your vehicle, lock and unlock the car, start and stop the engine, that sort of thing. And they figured out a way that for, I think, Hyundai, Genesis, Nissan, Infiniti, Honda, and Acura, some of those, they figured out how to get into the account and turn the car on and off and all that sort of stuff. As long as they just know your email address, if they know the user account email address, they were able to get in. Then they figured out additional ways to get in and take control of the car using the SiriusXM connected vehicle services telematics platform if they knew the VIN number, which is, right there on the dash so you can see through the windshield, so not hard. So basically, they could walk up to a car and unlock it if they knew the VIN, theoretically. So what do you guys think? Is this something people should be concerned about?
I mean, maybe I work for a large OEMs and my opinions are my own. We don't use the SiriusXM platform. I think most OEMs have their own, connected vehicle platform that they're using. They have a lot more control over, security. I know that a lot of effort is put into, hardening the vehicle against cyber attack. There were some exploits early on, probably maybe 6 or 7 years ago, that were widely publicized with, some products. And since then, the vehicle itself has been hardened completely. But yeah, you're always, any chain, the weakest link, that sort of thing. And if you are relying on a third party, like Sirius or something, not to pick on them, I don't know the details of this exploit, but there's always, you're kind of relying on their security practices as well. So yeah. And an app too, Bluetooth, using your phone's Bluetooth connection to connect to your car for locks and things is great. But then how do you secure that? And there are ways to do it. But I mean, Kia Hyundai has had kind of a rough year when it comes to security as well. But not to pick on them because it's an industry wide phenomenon, but yeah, I mean, it is top priority, securing the vehicle and all connections to the vehicle.
When I was reading the article, what stuck out to me was a little bit of the dismissiveness of the auto companies. It has seemed to be all too common when you have security people who uncover problems. I think we had that. There was another story a while back that they threw a fit about that, and it was a state government threw a fit about it. Missouri, I think. Yeah.
Because he hacked the website by looking at the source HTML.
He pressed F11 to hack the website. And so there was this dismissiveness of the fact that, these were experts that had the availability of the email addresses and all of this. And they eventually come around to saying we've worked on it and closed the holes, but there's a little too much dismissiveness for me.
I guess they're trying not to cause a panic in the vehicle owners, I guess. I mean, that's the best I could put a spin I could put on it. But
everything's been run through the legal department, and the wording is it's very, very carefully chosen.
They're not suing them like the state of Missouri or trying to put criminal charges against F11. So
right. I mean, this is just a part of when vehicles become computers on wheels, and that's essentially what they are now. And we know that computers have vulnerabilities that constantly need to be patched. Our phones, our desktops, our laptops, everything constantly needs to be patched. I'm not sure how easy it is to patch these vehicles over the air. If you have to bring them in, like a recall, that might be necessary.
It really depends on how recent, I think automakers have gotten a lot better at being able to flash more and more of the modules in the car. With software, Tesla's kind of been an industry leader there. But that's definitely the way it's going. As soon as these things are identified, send a over the air update, right away. Right.
Which itself, you have to be secure with that sort of thing too.
Yeah. I would bring up, just by analogy of you saying it's a thing of computers on wheels, right? Back when we had Windows 98, Windows XP, the easiness of someone hacking a computer and getting complete control of a computer was completely different than what it is now. We're so much more secure now. It's not perfect, but to be able to see and allow progress to happen without that fear. When we had Windows 98 and XP, we could turn our internet off.
Right. And that's right. You know, that's the thing is why these researchers are so important, because they're the ones who are pushing every day, pushing the manufacturers not to overlook things, not to be cavalier about it, but to really fix. And that's why we owe all these guys a debt of gratitude for constantly doing this sort of thing. So we really appreciate it.
Yep. And I would rather have the ethical hacker figure it out than the unethical one.
Well, if the ethical hacker knows it and has revealed it to the company and to the public, the unethical hacker also knows it, you can bet, and is not telling anyone because he wants to exploit it. So that's important to for us to recognize. All right, so those are our headlines, and let's move on to our picks of the week. Father Joseph, you're up first.
My pick of the week, and I was surprised we've never done this one. I looked at it. Is a website called LibriVox, and this is, if you think of books that are in the public domain. So I think in the United States, that's books that are over 90 years old, which, lucky for us as Catholics, is mostly everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was specifically, next semester with my high school seniors, I'm doing Augustine's Confessions, and we do a lot of reading in class, and sometimes it's nice to take a break from reading and let someone with a nice British accent read to you. And so I was trying to find a good audiobook version, and one of the better narrations I found was on LibriVox. And so this is a really good site. I think they have 40,000 or so recorded works. You can find apps that pull it in, but a lot of the apps are ad supported. I found the website just to be the best way for myself to go, but I guess when you're using it on the phone, you probably would want to pull an app into there. I think you do have RSS feeds, so you could try to pull it in the podcast app, but you'd have to engineer that some way. Everything they do is by volunteers. A little plug there. If you're someone that has a good narration voice, that's how they keep their works built, is by having people narrate books for them.
I was looking at that. This could be my big break into the world of audiobooks. At least, well, you always need like a, portfolio and stuff too, if you're going to, do
it for pay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, this looks excellent. Yeah. Thanks for recommending this. I might give it a try reading some of their short stories or something.
You can, and there's some good stuff like in the Christian fiction section, or just in the general religious section. You'll find G.K. Chesterton, Robert Hugh Benson, and some other older names in English that you'll recognize. Those are all in the public domain now. So check it out. That's some good stuff there.
I can read Augustine in a British accent and be like, "Oi, gov, to Carthage then I came, governor.
I'm not sure
grant me chastity."
I think it's Australian, but whatever.
That's the Cockney there, I think. But at least that's my guess.
Maybe not. Maybe I'll work on that before I offer to volunteer my considerable talents.
I'll really read Ulysses in my Irish accent and drive my wife crazy. She hates my Irish accent. I think it's pretty good. So good. Thank you, LibriVox, a free public domain audiobooks service. Victor, what's your pick this week?
Yeah, so I hesitate to even mention this because if I do and someone jumps on it like I did, it will consume your every waking moment. And it is a $99 3D printer that you can only buy at a Micro Center if you have one of those near you, and if you're a new Micro Center customer and have never purchased from them before. So they have this deal that they run from time to time where you can get a Creality 3 Pro, which is a few years old, kind of, base, no frills 3D printer. But I had my eye on a, more expensive, nicer 3D printer, but I wanted to see first if this hobby was something that would really resonate with me. And for $99, I was like, I'll pick it up. And it turns out I do enjoy 3D printing. With this particular printer, I don't know if I own it or it owns me. It's pretty fiddly. There's not a lot of frills and niceties, but it's easily upgradable. So already I've upgraded to a nicer, surface that the print goes on, and a little probe that automatically measures the height of the bed, so I don't have to, fiddle around with tolerances of 1/4 of 1/10 of a millimeter to get things to print. But it's still, every time you print something, you don't know if it's going to work or not necessarily. I'm still learning the hobby. Like I said, it can consume you. It can take you down rabbit holes and, YouTube videos that you watch over and over again and scream at them because they're not telling you exactly what you need to know. But if you can get past all that, you can make some really nice stuff. Like I'm still in the Moai head phase where I'm printing, rainbow colored Moai heads and fidgets for the kids. But it's really fun. The kids just love being able to, print Odd Squad badges and other. We got it initially to print props and stuff for costumes, but it's just really fun. And for $99, it lets you know if you're interested in the hobby and if you want to spend, a little bit more on it.
Now, is that one, does it use PLA plastic or nylon, or what is it?
PLA, I printed PLA and then PET G, which is a little, more durable. I haven't gone up to ABS, which is, I think, about as far as you would want to go. The nozzle. Yeah. So what Father Joseph is talking about is there's a heating element, and depending on how hot that can get, you can print more durable plastics and stuff all the way up to nylon or carbon fiber if you have a super hot end. But for what I'm doing, PLA, which is kind of like your base plastic, it's actually like a cornstarch and a plastic kind of mixed together. It's plenty durable. I'm making some Christmas ornaments right now for our Stargate fans and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. It's finicky. You have to invest some time into it, but the first time something prints successfully and I'm really amazed by some of these designs. You just download them off the internet and then you can send them to the printer after you do some jiggery pokery on it. But like fully functional fidget toys with hinges that are printed right into it as it's printing up, it's really amazing what they can do and stuff. So nice. It's but again, it's one of those hobbies that will consume you if you let it.
If you're looking, you can go to the link we'll have in the show notes. Yep. And at the bottom, there'll be a link to find all the locations. So you might have a location near you. If you live in the Boston area, there's one in Cambridge near MIT. I might be heading over there to get my $99 printer. I had my eye on one of these for a while.
Thanks for rubbing in that I don't have a micro center.
Yeah, the closest one to you is probably either Kansas or Missouri, I think.
Yeah, when I lived in St. Louis, I went there a little too much. So
yeah. I drove clear across the city of Detroit to get to ours. So yeah, on a quest for a $99 printer. Again, it's not the best printer out there. It's fairly bare bones, but again, it will do nice prints and let you know if the hobby is for you.
Now, nice. for you who've been in a micro center, before COVID, it used to be amazing to go in there. Has the shortage of chips made it less amazing to go in a micro center? Or?
It is still pretty amazing, and I was amazed too that there were like it was my first time in one, to be perfectly honest, and there were so many helpful people in there. I talked.
Oh yeah. Their customer service is usually pretty good. So
yeah, good, awesome. That's a very nice pick. So mine is a little app you can get on iOS, iPad OS, and you can even run it on Mac OS under Catalyst. So Apple, when you buy an Apple device, you get the Reminders app as one of the built-in apps. And one of the knocks against it is it's hard to put new entries in. It's not the easiest thing to use to create a new reminder. And with the calendaring, same thing. Like the built-in calendar is not the easiest to use. But what was great about them is they have a database that any other apps can access that are on your phone or your iPad or whatever. And so for calendaring, the Fantastical lets you do natural language typing. You just type in what your appointment is and it figures out what it should be. Well, the same thing with the Reminders. There's this app called Remind Me Faster, and it's basically, its whole purpose is to quickly, natural language, typing in what your reminder is, and then it parses it for you and puts it in the database for, to make it easier. It's a great idea. I don't use the reminders app very often, partly because of that.
Yeah.
It's too hard to use. I use some other apps, but with this, I might use it more for there's sometimes I need like a quick reminder. Hey, when I get home, which is a really nice aspect of reminders, by the way, I can do location-based reminders. When I get home, tell me to, remind me to turn on the light on the porch or something like that. It's just a really nice, easy way to get reminders in. And shared reminders is another great thing, is you can have shared reminder lists as well. So, and it is free with in-app purchases, probably ad-based or something like that. I forgot to look at what exactly
the natural language input is an in-app purchase. And
it is a huge amount of 99 cents. So natural language.
So if you want to do it with natural language, it looks like you have to pay more.
Yeah, it looks like that, but it would probably be worth it. So what you can do is you can download it, try it out, and if you think it's something you want to do, you can drop your 99 cents and get the natural language input as well. So that looks good. There's a couple other things you can get into, more location presets, some custom time presets. Each one is a little bit additional. I think if you go all in, it's probably $4, which is still not bad for a nice app that can help with something like that. Very good. So those are our picks of the week. And that's it for us this time. We would love to hear what you think of our discussion. If you have any feedback on anything we've discussed, including on our Christmas gift ideas, you can let us know by commenting on the show at sqpn.com/technology or the StarQuest Facebook page, facebook.com/StarQuestMedia, or send an email to technology@sqpn.com. Visit the StarQuest Discord community at sqpn.com/Discord. You'll find links from our discussion and our picks of the week on our show notes at starquest.fm/TEC191, Tech 191. You can, please, if you can, and we'd really appreciate it. It helps us a lot. If you write a review of the show in Apple Podcasts or wherever you can write reviews of podcasts, share the podcast with your friends. Help us grow this community of listeners. We'd like to thank James for research assistance in this episode. And until next time, Father Joseph Sund, thank you for joining me and sharing the secrets of technology.
You're welcome.
Victor Lambs, thank you as well.
Thanks, Dom.
And once again, I'm Dom Bettinelli. Thank you for listening to The Secrets of Technology on StarQuest, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Hi, everyone. This is Dom Bettinelli, CEO of StarQuest, with a special message as we approach the Christmas season. This past year, the StarQuest network has continued to expand our mission of exploring the intersection of faith and pop culture through our many entertaining and informative programs. Now we need your generous financial support to keep producing the shows you love and to reach new audiences with more of the life-changing and uplifting programming we've been creating for more than a decade. That's why it's very important that we hear from you this Advent and Christmas, the time when nonprofits receive most of their support for the year. If you are already a supporter of StarQuest, we thank you and ask you to prayerfully consider increasing your support at this time. If you're not yet a supporter, please become one now. Every gift counts. Could you give $15 or even just $10 per month? Whatever level of support you can offer, please show your support for SQPN this Christmas. And remember that your gifts are tax deductible. Just go to sqpn.com/give. That's sqpn.com/give. May God bless you this Advent, and may you have a blessed Christmas season.